in 2001 was the Mini Craft Organizer Large, and the style number is CA14. This was exactly the prototype that I designed to start my business, and I'm going to show it to you. I can put my makeup, some of my jewelry in there, more jewelry, can keep my medication and personal items, and I do keep my phone chargers, my cords, etc. in here. And this was my concept of a perfect travel bag that I could carry on all my international trips. The day I was leaving for India, I passed through Sydney and I met an elderly lady who was 85 on the day, and she was a cross-stitch teacher. She looked at prototype of the travel bag and said this would make a perfect craft bag, and she insisted I take it to craft stores to show it to them, and she was convinced that they would find a lot of interest in this bag. It's lightweight, it's soft, everything is viewable in there. It's amazing how much things can fit. You've got 8 pockets in here, and they fit all your craft accessories and notions. The other idea that a lot of customers of mine are doing now is they've reached a point where after they've used this bag for that many years, they decide to embellish the bags. So whether you have scraps of your wool or any other ideas to embellish the bag, you can create the patch outside the bag and whip stitch it on your bag. This bag is 12 years old. A quilting teacher used it for 12 years, decided that the fabric looked a little tired. It was a little pilled as well with the overusage of it, and decided to add this layer to the bag to make it, to personalize it and make it special. I think they're amazing little ideas, and it does teach you some techniques. People run classes of them. There's some kits available worldwide. We do have a lot of support around these bags because they work a little bit harder than just working as an ordinary bag. You can be quite creative. This is a Sashiko project done on one of our bags, on the Mini Craft Organizer Large. In line with our design philosophy to deliver innovative designs that are multifunctional and of the highest quality, I designed the next size down from our Mini Craft Organizer Large, and this is called our Petite Organizer. Now this works very well for your jewelry and makeup and a little bit of medication when you're traveling, and that's a perfect size. And like that, we have the same bag, which has become very popular with crafters who are carrying little projects. Beaders as well love these bags to carry their little notions and keep their projects together. And as far as the colors we offer today, we have the black, navy, a nice vibrant red, the green, the hot pink, the aqua, and a purple. So we offer them in 7 colors in the Yazzie range of craft and jewelry organizers. Here are some inspirational ideas to embellish and personalize your Mini Craft Organizer Petite. This is a lovely elephant that's been embellished onto the bag, and in this particular case they've even done a different design on the reverse side of this bag. I'm going to take you through some of these designs. In the meantime, I will mention that the measurement of these bags, the dimensions are 12.5 by 16 and 6.5 centimeters, and in inches it is 5 inches by 6.4 by 2.6 inches. And this is when embellishments done on the top surface and some of the side as well. I'm sure this will inspire you to go and create some beautiful embellishments on your bags and cover-ups. this is Yasmita Megan from Yazzie International. I'm the designer of the Yazzie craft storage bags. We've been supplying these bags worldwide for the last 20 years, and we know how all of you love Yazzie bags. They are handcrafted in India, and they are durable, functional, innovative, and it's of great quality. We've been doing lots of international shows over the years between Australia, Europe, and the US. And because of the situation we are under the pandemic, we are finding ways now to virtually send our messages out to you in whichever part of the world you reside in, because I know everyone's interested in our products. And today we have a very special guest by the name of Sue Howie from Indigo Niche Designs. She lives in Brisbane, Australia, and she's a very close friend of mine, and we meet at various exhibitions in Australia, and she does amazing sashiko and borrow embroidery on various projects. But she has sort of selected a lot of our Yazzie bags to demonstrate that technique to her students. So we wanted to sort of share her experiences and let her tell us about her journey in this craft world, where it's brought her as a real expert in the Japanese style sashiko and borrow embroidery. I'm going to play a little video for you today just to give you an introduction, and we're going to be really happy to introduce Sue Howie to you straight after that. Okay, now we're going to introduce Sue Harvey from Indigo Niche Designs.
Hello, Yazi.
Hi, Sue. Good afternoon.
Hi, Yazi. Lovely.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, and thank you for having me today. I'm very pleased to be here.
Now, we just appreciate the fact that you made time. We know in Brisbane you're right now currently doing a lot of classes, etc., and your website's been really busy. But we do appreciate this opportunity to be able to talk to you about your journey through all of this craft and quilting industry. You know, you're such an expert, and I've always admired what you do, and you just present the most amazing projects around your sashiko and borrow embroidery, and you have very successful class attendances as well. So I'm just excited that you even include all our Yazzie bags to be part of your projects. And we thought this would be a great opportunity for you to spend time and talk to us about what you really do. So I'm going to take myself off the screen, Sue, and I'm going to let you now talk about everything you do. And whenever you're ready, I'll definitely come back in. Okay?
Thanks, Yazi. Look, it's a pleasure to be able to share with you. You've become a really good friend over the 10 or 12 years that I've been doing all the craft shows. But I'll just give you a little bit of brief outline of who I am and where I've come from. I started Sashiko probably about 15, 16 years ago. I went to the craft shows with my sister, and I just couldn't get past that that Japanese store that was there. I just loved the fabrics. They resonated with me. I've always felt a calmness with all the lovely Japanese designs and fabrics and so. And I took a couple of lessons from a lovely lady named Fran McMullen in Brisbane, from a store that you may remember, those of you who've been going to the craft shows for quite a while, by the name of Fran McMullen from Abundia. And she taught me basically how to do sashiko, and I was hooked from the moment I started it. I just loved it. So a little while longer, Fran was getting out of the industry, and I decided that I would like to take up where she left off. And together with my sister, we started Indigo Niche. And we've been going for about 12 years now, and I've really, really enjoyed the journey. I love the meditative feel that I get from sashiko. It is very, very calming, very easy to do, and I love sharing what I've learned, my expertise, my design aspect. I love sharing that with all the customers that come to the craft shows. We've built up a lovely website now. My sister isn't in business with me anymore, but I've carried on in the last 3 or 4 years since we've parted our ways. And I'm enjoying more so than ever designing and teaching and sharing my love of this craft. Sashiko, I met Yazi at the craft shows, and we've become very good friends, and she's been a great inspiration to me, also in pulling me along and helping me, being a mentor as well, and I've really appreciated that. So much so that I've really loved to embellish some of her beautiful bags. I've got a huge array of her bags in my personal kit that I've got, and I keep finding new ways of using them. You know, I've got one for for my computer when I go away. I've got lots of fabrics of all different persuasions in different bags. Of course, I've got all my notions in other bags. I've got single projects in another bag, in the craft folder bags. I've got lots of those because I've got lots of unfinished projects, of course. But I really enjoyed using her bags, and I've loved to embellish some of her bags, and she's got some to show you a little later on. With this COVID situation, it's been very difficult to get out and about face to face with all our customers, but it's been a pleasure also to realise that a lot of the customers worldwide, especially in Victoria, here in Australia, where they are in severe lockdown, and a lot of the customers are finding that they want something to do, something to keep their hands busy, to keep their minds occupied. I'm finding that I'm getting a lot of orders from America and Canada, and also Europe, because they're all in the same boat as well. So it's a pleasure to be able to supply all these lovely therapeutic crafts and kits to those customers, and so that they can do something in lockdown and feel very calm in what's a not so good situation. So my journey is still going full bore. I'm designing at the moment. I've actually had to bring a couple of ladies on board, which is lovely, to help me with what's with the growth of my business as well, and that's been a real plus for me. And we're so looking forward to getting back face to face. I'm very sorry that we weren't able to come to Houston this year. We had planned to come and show all my different designs. Most of my designs are a lot different to a lot of the traditional designs of Sashiko. I like to experiment. I like to sort of meld cultures. I love melding the culture of the Indigenous Australian with the beautiful technique of the Sashiko from the Japanese, and I'm finding that has been very, very popular, and I'm working on new designs to expand that as well. So hopefully next year I'll be able to get to America and do Houston and show everybody what I'm doing. So we might get back to Yazi now and see if she's got something to show you.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to some of the samples that we've been working on for the last couple of years, Sue. You've done some amazing design work on some of my bags, which I take over to the Birmingham show. I've done many Houston shows and displaying them on my stand, and I get everyone that excited. The whole world of Sashiko and Boro has sort of really taken a different spin. It's raised a level in the last 2 or 3 years, in my opinion. 10 years ago, I never saw that much of it, but there's such a tremendous interest in this particular technique. And I'm so glad I had all these lovely samples that you prepared for me. I know it takes a lot of time of yours, and I know I seem to be a little demanding at times for deadlines, but I do appreciate it always. Remember that it doesn't go unnoticed, and it means a lot to me. So I'm going to just, before you start showing some of your bags, I'm going to show some of the samples that you've already created. The first one you did was my mini craft organizer large. I know it was just a little motif out here, but it did show the little technique of Sashiko in here, and they can become great projects and classes for what you're doing. So I think this has been a very nice sample. It's small, but yet very effective. It does make your bag stand out from the rest because everyone owns a Yazzie bag. And this was the first bag we introduced 20 years ago. So this way you stand out in a crowd, sort of, in a way. So the next bag I know I'd like to just sort of visually show you is our oval craft organizer. And that the style number is CA140. Again, you've embellished a little pattern out here on one of your motifs, and people tend to do that as a class project. It's quite simple, but it does look very effective and attractive. And I know everyone comes into our booths all over the world to come and have a closer look at some of these bags. And I do mention that it's a good friend of mine from Brisbane, Australia, who's doing all these wonderful designs. This is our more recent bag, which is our CA305, which is the oval craft box. And it's in our beautiful, vibrant red. That's a new color we've introduced over the last 18 months. And you've embellished it so beautifully. I think this has really attracted a lot of people. And I know people are buying these bags from me to take away and just create their own designs, because these are just inspirational ideas. Often people want to buy them as they are, and we don't sell them. These are just samples, but it has inspired many people in the technique that you love experimenting with, and you continue to do so, constantly. And I want to just share these before you end up talking to them. Is this is a borrow embroidery kit. So you've just taken the style number of this product is CA474, which is our Yazzie craft box with 4 pockets in there that are loose and detached, and you've done some borrow on it. And that makes it look really attractive, because you can have a lot of stash lying around, and you can put this together in no time if you understand the technique and are familiar with it. And I love the fact that you've done this little project bag of ours. I know I can't even begin to count how many you're using for your personal use and your little block of the months, etc. But I think this is an amazing idea for anyone to understand that the opportunities and the ideas and the creativity is endless on Yazzie bags. It's something you take away, make it look beautiful, and use it for a long time after that. And that's what makes them so popular. The last one I left here to show everyone, this is our block storage bag, which is a more recent product we've introduced to carry all your quilt blocks. The style number is CA370. Now, I love the fact that you've done this beautiful embroidery on it, the Sashiko embroidery. And I know everyone loves the design. It's Aborigine, it's just got that little spiel to it, and it's attracted a lot of crafters around the world when I've taken it as samples. So right now, I just appreciate the fact that you've given me all these beautiful samples to show and display. And that's what's made our bags sell well at the shows. People do different things like beading on them. They do wool applique on them. Some people are just doing some English paper piecing on our products. But you definitely have taken it to another level, something that's so popular out there in the world today. So I'm going to now hand it back to you to show us some of the products that you've embellished, and you can talk about how you're going to now supply them going forward.
Thanks, Yazzie. Okay, so you sent me some samples, and you gave me some ideas of what I could do. And over the last couple of weeks, what I've done is I've put a new one on the oval. What I've done is I've actually cut the motif out, and it's sort of made it a little bit more, what shall I say, a little bit more attractive, I think. And I've actually did some whip stitching around on this one, which gives it a 3D effect. So I really, really like this particular technique, and I've done this technique on all of the bags I'm going to show you in different colors. I find that the indigo works very, very well on the green because I've used a variegated cotton. Now, these are going to be available in kit form. The motifs, they're going to be available with the motif and also some cotton, and they'll be in different colors as well, and a technique on how to do it as well. So that's a good way of, and they'll be quite reasonably priced. So you'll be able to purchase, whether it be in conjunction with Yazzie's bags or separately, and you'll be able to do this on your bags as well. So that's the oval. This was the first one I did, and I was so impressed with how this actually turned out. I don't know if you can see that so well there, but you can see where I've actually done the double stitching, and I was so pleased with it. What had happened was that the corner had actually cut off one of the squares, and I thought, now how am I going to attach this to Yazzie's bag? anyhow, I came up with the idea that I would actually cut around the particular design, and it's just become so attractive. I'm so pleased with the outcome. I know Yazi is too. She's told me she is. There's a couple of little motives there. I've actually done them in separate designs. I think it works quite well, and I did those in variegated colours. You can see I've actually enhanced just the outline of that one, but I've done some in the outside and on the inside of that one. So it's another little one. And this one Yazi didn't even ask me to do, but I just loved the way that this one turned out. So I was so impressed with this. Isn't really my color palette, but it's just come out just beautifully. I'm so happy with it. I'm going to do some more on Yazi's teal bags. I've got a few ideas that to make these larger and smaller, and fill a larger bag, embellish a larger bag, which I think will look really, really nice. So that was so simple, and you can see where I've cut it all out as well, all the way around the design. So that one turned out really, really well. And of course, I think this is Yazi's favourite. She was so impressed when she saw this one. That's it. She was so impressed when she saw this one. She was over the moon with it, as was I. And some of the friends that have come into my studio as well, they saw them and were just blown away with the effect that this one had created. So that's using both a plain and a variegated thread. So there's so many different options that you can do when you decide to do that as well. And this was a square one, or a rectangle one, sorry. A little bit different, but still quite nice. It's a little bit darker, I think, but it covers the whole of the bag there on the front. I'd just like to give you ideas of what you can do. The design on this is absolutely beautiful, but I felt that it did need the red to sort of make it work well and complement each other. So that was really nice. And just as a little bit of a sidekick away from the embellishment of Yazi's bags, I just want to show you other things that I've found that I can do with Yazi's bags. These are, I don't know if you can see that there very well, but that is all my templates, and I've got them all in one Yazi bag. I was so impressed. I thought, I've got them all together. I think that is really, really handy. I love what I've done there. I've used another one for my computer, to carry my computer around when I'm traveling as well. So that's a really easy way. I can see where my computer is. It's a great size, and I think I've got so many of these craft folders for kits and everything. So these have all got fabrics in them ready for when I'm going to be doing my next project. So I've got all those fabrics in there ready for my next quilt once I design it. I've got so many of these. I just love them. They are probably my favourite Yazi bag. I just love them. I've got knitting bags. I've got other bags with different fabrics in them as well. So as you can see, and of course my Notion bag. I've got everything in that bag as well. This is I think the companion bag. I've had this for a long, long time. I think that's actually the first bag that I actually bought from Yazi, and they're still as good as the day I bought them. Absolutely fabulous. So that's my little bundle. That's just a few of my little bundle of Yazi bags that I have in my studio. So back to you, Yazi, and I'll let you continue.
Okay. Now, thank you so much. Whatever you've shown us, it's just so exciting. I think everyone out there are going to love, love, love those little projects that you've created. We're so excited to launch all of them. We'll definitely be working as a team, and it's all your technique out there, your creativity. All we're providing you is the base bag, and I know we're already getting such positive responses on this, so I'm quite excited for the next few months to start introducing these products out there. thank you so much for creating those beautiful samples for us. And you keep them in Brisbane, Australia, and we'll definitely start working as of now, like today, if we can. We'll have to have a talk about it. But for now, I just wanted you to know that it's been so nice to chat with you today. We need to sort of work with each other in these times. This is our only way of virtually reaching out worldwide. And together we can make a beautiful team. A lot of Australians are part of this as well. And I know Australians are generally very well respected for their creativity and the expertise around in the craft industry. And it makes me feel very proud when I'm out there, because a lot of what I've done and designed, you have had so much to say and opinions about, my designs. I've asked many of you, and everyone's helped me. All Australians have helped me to get where I am after 20 years. And I do appreciate your friendship and your input into my products. And I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, the time you gave me today to present our range fully with your skills and our bags. So
look,
thank you.
Yazi, it's been an absolute pleasure. I love the fact that we've been able to work with each other over the last 10 years, 10, 11 years. I agree with you about this virtual way of doing things now. I think future, unfortunately, but we have to evolve and still connect with our customers. And this is a really good way of connecting with our customers in the foreseeable future. So hopefully we can still keep in contact with them all and give them all what they want. So thank you for having me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'll keep embellishing.
Okay, thank you for that. All right.
Oh, you're very welcome, Nancy.
Yeah, we'll talk again. Thank you for your time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Jerry, and I wanted to pop in here and share something with you. I just came back from quilting retreat last week, and honestly, this is what I brought. Other than my suitcase, pillow, and of course, chocolate. But this is my sewing machine trolley, and this is the thread that I brought, and this is the Yazzie mini thread organizer. And this holds 30 spools of thread, way more than I needed to bring. But look how convenient this is. In the tote, out of sight. And then I brought this. This is the 120 carry-all. I have had this for almost 20 years. And I packed it when I bought it, and I have never unpacked it. I have added to it, of course, but I take it on quilt retreats. I take it on our women's sew days. I take it to classes. This is my portable sewing station. Look at the organization in this. This has 20 pockets, individual zippered pockets for all different size equipment. And there's a big pocket at the back. I have 2 projects in it that I carried with me, and then another zippered pocket for larger items. This bag holds everything. And when I say everything, look, I've got a cutting mat and an ironing board in here. I've got my mug rugs. This bag holds everything. I think when I bought this, I think it was like $140, and now it is $118. It is a steal. This is the best organization you will find for the quilter. This is funny. At least I think it's funny. When we went on retreat, this is all I had to unpack. While my girlfriends are out at the SUVs and the vans, and they are hauling in shopping bags, tote bags, cardboard boxes, trip after trip of their supplies. This is all I had to bring. And guess what? I could set it up on my table like that. All of my tools are at hand. I don't have to search through a million things to find it. And this is just the handiest organizer you will ever find. I am a very happy customer. In fact, I own 4 or 5 or maybe more. There will be more in the future.
Hi, we're at Quilt Camp, and I wanted you to see what one of our ladies has done with her carry-all. First of all, look at her beautiful machine embroidery. She's personalized it with her initials. Judy, show us what you have in yours.
Big ones.
Oh, wow. There's her patterns. And there's, look at it, she's got needle case, scissors, paper scissors, needles, marking tools. Look at every pocket, bobbins, special pins, needle threaders, needles. I mean, when we go to camp, girls, we have everything.
This is screwdrivers and
Screwdrivers. Look at this. Boy, if I forgot something, I know where I'm coming.
And of course, this is big enough for
And
all
look
of the
at-
fabric.
You hear that? This is her fabric that she brought, that she hasn't used. Girls, look at this. She has been busy. This is also one of her quilts that she has done so far this weekend, because everything is here and she is prepared. And this is our retreat. Quilt in progress. Quilt in progress. Don't go to retreat without your Yazzie bag.
So I'm going to show you the Maxi Yazzie now. And before we do that, I'll just start with this, where I'm going to show you it's a quilted bag. You can see closely the quilting in there, the little pipings that go through the handle. We've got a yazzie.com label, so in case you're ever looking for us, you know where to find us. So I'm going to just adjust the camera and get ready to show you the bag internally, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Okay, now this was the cover that I showed you earlier, and I'm opening the bag now, and this is the inside cover page. Now this one accommodates an A4 book, a pattern book, a hoop, a template. It's just little things I've put. It doesn't mean that it has to be in there, or I just wanted you to get a visual of the amount of space. This is 2 horizontal pockets that has a lot of depth as far as the gusset goes. So we've given you a lot of room in here to give you, you can place a lot of larger articles in here comfortably. So that's the inside cover page. And when you look at the bag in front of you, these are 3 horizontal pockets that fits a lot of your threads as well, pretty large threads. I've just filled them because I don't have that many threads to fill. I've tried to put lots of various things to give you a good idea. And this is something, even though it's on every insert that comes with the bag when it's packaged, we do often get questioned about the fact whether the products come included in the price of the bag. But no, it doesn't. It's just there so that visually we filled it up as best we can to give you a very good idea of what you can fit in the bags. It does make it seem like there's a purpose, and you get a good idea of how you're going to go home and use your bag. So that was the first inside cover and the page that faces you. On the next page, again, I've got 3 pockets. These 2 are divided, the lower 2, and this is a full pocket. We tried to, you can put your braids, you can put your trims, you can put your accessories, your rotary cutters, needles, anything you need that might work for you. And again, every pocket has this extra sleeve on either side that gives you room to bulge up on whatever you need to keep in here. So this was the second part of it. And in this area, we've placed a pocket in here with a plastic cover. So you can keep your fabrics, you can keep your books, you can do whatever you need to, as well as you can keep some fabrics at the bottom if you need to. Now this is, as I said, this is a 3-part bag, 3 pieces. This is one of the pieces of the bag. So I'm going to just raise the camera a little bit so you're getting a visual of the whole bag as you're going to receive it the way it is. Now, the next product that goes into the bag is your block storage case that we've added. Now, the bag measurements are 15 by 15, and we're allowing and accommodating a 14 by 14 blocks that you can keep in here. So this particular bag, you can keep your fabrics in here, all your blocks. The reason I've also added scrapbook paper at the back, so that you have an idea that it can be used for your scrapbooking paper or as a perfect scrapbooking bag. That's quite a popular craft, and I find often people are buying this particular bag and saying it's the best thing for scrapbooking. Scrapbookers had many heavier bags, and they used to lug around to their classes, and they're just looking for something more practical. And this seemed to have answered what their needs were. And this was the first time in 20 years that we came up with a square sort of a bag, and that allowed for paper crafts as well as your blocks. Now, I don't have anything for 16 by 16 blocks. The maximum we've allowed for is a 14 by 14. And that's, I don't think, if there's anything larger you need, I don't think we're planning to provide that at this stage. So let's assume you are taking your fabrics, your magazines, your books in this bag, and you've got all your blocks for that particular quilt for that weekend that you're preparing. You can place it in here, and I'll let the camera come close so you can see how well it fits in here. So okay, and that's the third bag. This is the second component of this bag. So when we say the Maxi Yazzie CA 375, it's a 3-piece bag. This is the top cover bag, the main bag that I showed you. You get your block storage case within that bag. And the third part of this bag is we've provided you the set of 3 pouches, which we look at it as one product, because we do sell this 3-piece pouch on its own. Often people like that just to add to other Yazzie bags, and you might want to keep smaller projects amongst your bags. So these are 3 pouches, and they can sit in the bag. So you pretty well are prepared to keep lots and lots of pieces in here. It's perfect for you to take to a retreat. Your threads, your blocks are in here. You've got your rotary cutter, your embellishments, your accessories, your books, your pattern books, your templates. Everything you need is in one bag. And when you're all done, you just carry that off after you finished your class. Throw it over your shoulder. And I'll let the camera just go up a little higher so that you can see the handles. Now, in this bag, I want to show you everything that we provide in the Yazzie Craft Storage range. People have found some innovative ways and used their imagination over the years and embellished these bags. I've seen this particular bag with some English paper piecing on it. I'll just give you an idea. It doesn't mean that it has to be this way or that. This is not the identical bag. But for example, you can put a little patch of your embroidery in here. You can place it on top and whip stitch it around it. The bag with the English paper piecing, I know I saw it in the US at one of the exhibitor stands. They've done all their bags. They love this bag and they've really embellished it well. So something like this, you can do some wool embroidery on it as well and whip stitch it. The choice is yours. There are various techniques and it's up to you what you feel like, the color wave you want to use. It can be made up with your stash that you've got. So I think it's a great bag. It's been very popular. It was my last bag that we covered. And let me move now from here to the next product that we created after this. And it came up because every time I presented this bag, anyone that bought it would say, can we buy more of these little pouches? Because we have lots of quilts and we like to separate our quilting blocks cases and keep them for various projects. So what I did in this case is after I created this bag and completed it, I went off to the next product. I'll put the insert up for you so you have a good idea of what it looks like. And if you can just have a look at that insert, and I'll come back to you with the bag. Okay, now the next bag we designed after a request came through for those little block cases, extra block cases. I'm going to go a little closer so you see it. Now what we did is, because that one didn't have a little handle and it was meant to fit at the base of the bag, I thought if anybody did not want to buy the larger bag for whatever reason, whether it's costs or whatever, and they might just be as happy with this little block storage case, I thought it best to design it with a little handle that helps you carry it where you're going. So again, the purpose of this was for your 14 by 14 blocks. So whether it's your applique, paper crafts, I know it fits westerly, what's it, the ruler that comes in, it's a crosshair ruler that the westerly rulers are protected in here. And you can fit quite a few blocks. I've just got this one here, but it should give you, for one quilt, lots of blocks that will be accommodated in this bag, and you can carry it with you. Now, people are also saying, well, I don't want the handle. At the end of the day, I'm not going to be able to separate the handle. This was done with some good thinking around it, saying that if you're buying the bag without the large bag, this will be helpful. If you don't like it, just snip it off and you'd be happy as well. There's nothing I'm going to do to remove the handle or offer two types of them. From this bag, we went on to the next product, where they said, this is great for individual quilts. We love the fact that you were able to provide this for us, but we want larger block cases where we want lots and lots of blocks just to store at home. We prepare them and we'll leave them and maybe just take these for our retreats. So I went off to the next one. So I'll let you have a look at the insert of what this is style number CA370, and it's a larger block storage case. As you can see, it fits a lot more in this area. And if we're looking at the, I'll just tell you the, well, I'm not sure, I can't find those dimensions here, but it's quite large and it fits lots and lots of blocks for you. So if you look at it, the way we open this bag, I've managed to get this in here. This is a quilt, some fabrics, just to give you an idea of what it does take. So it's quite thick. I'm sure you can fit hundreds of blocks in here. It's a great storage bag at home. It's visual. You can see what you've got in there. So this was done as an add-on, because that was 18 months ago. I designed 3 bags. All were related to each other. And I thought that I needed, I'll just get the camera up there. And so you can see this as is. So the dimensions for this bag would be 35.5 by 35.5 by 7 centimeters. So I hope you enjoyed seeing these 3 bags, and we'll move on to the other products now. But before I do this, I want to show you the same bag. When we talk about embellishing it, I have a friend who uses lots of these bags for all her quilting blocks, and she thinks it's one of the best designs. She prefers the bigger one because she can put her pockets in there, and she does use it quite well amongst many of her craft projects. And what she's done, she's designed a little patch using some sashiko embroidery and attached it to the bag at the base. Again, it's your choice. You don't have to do anything, but it does work. And it looks nice, and it personalizes it for you. So this is where we finish off with our bags that are related with block storage.
Hello everyone, I'm Becky Goldsmith with Piece of Cake, and I want to show you what's inside the Maxi Yazzie 3-piece bag. This is a really lovely, well thought out bag. The opening is accessible with a double-sided zipper. The bag itself is about 15 by 15 by 3.5 inches tall, so it's good sized. When you open the bag, you will immediately see that this side has one big zippered pouch and two slightly smaller ones. Both are accessible with a double-sided zipper. And what's really nice is almost all of the pouches in this bag are gusseted. So the vinyl, which is see-through so that you can see what you've got stored in each area, the vinyl is folded and pleated in so that you can add slightly taller objects. It's a really nice detail that you don't want to overlook. Next, you'll find this two-sided organizer. This first side has 3 long gusseted openings, and the flip side has 1 long one, and these 2 that are subdivided to help separate smaller objects. Also a nice touch. Also in this bag are 3 loose pockets, and they come to you nestled inside each other like that. I really like these. I like a loose organizer because it's not just that they're easy to move around inside this bag, it's that if I have something here that I want to carry in another project, it's very easy to pick it up and take it with me in another project. So there's these. Next, there is this wonderful pouch, and it measures right about 13.5 by 13.5. It's designed to carry blocks. So you could carry blocks that are up to that size. If you wanted to carry blocks that are bigger, you could fold them smaller and put them in. It unzips so that it opens like a book, which is nice. And the zipper area is tall enough so that this would expand and hold several blocks at once. It's nice that you can see through on both sides. Again, very handy and not sewn in, so you can move it around as needed. When you get to the very bottom, this back side, you'll find a vinyl pouch. This would be a nice place to carry rulers and or a book that that you're working from. It would be a good place to carry patterns, any other things that you want to keep flat. That's really handy. So you would put your things in there, and then you could put your blocks in here. And then you could have pouches here, filled with whatever you want to fill them with. And then you have this that you can fill with all sorts of things. Let me go back to the notion that I really like loose pouches. The base of this pouch is sewn in with thread. You can come in here with the seam ripper and take that seam out, and then this would be a standalone unit. I haven't done that yet, but I really might with my own organizer because I like these to be separate. I'll decide once I start using it. It is nice that this part of the organizer is sewn in about 1 inch down the spine of the whole case, because that leaves room for whatever objects you put inside this side of this pouch unit and inside the front of the lid. Once you get it all full of your favorite things, you can zip it up, grab it by its handles, and take it with you wherever you need to go. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what is inside the Maxi Yazzie 3-piece bag. I know you will love yours as much as I'm going to love mine. May you have many happy stitches. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm at my weekend house, and this is my sewing area. I don't have a sewing room, but you know what? I'm okay with that because I sit here and I get to look at this. This is all desert and I love it. So I'm content. I have my sewing machine, I have my iron station, and I have all of my sewing supplies and tools in my Maxi Yazzie bag. And when I say I have all of my stuff, I do. This bag comes with 3 of the colored zipper pouches, and it comes with the large clear zippered pouch for fabric quilting pieces. But I have all of my tools in here. I have cutting mats, and it's very convenient. It's right here, very compact, and I'm not missing a thing because this is out in the country. And if I don't have something, I've got to go a long ways to get it. So I'm fully stocked and it works out so nice. Everything's sitting right here on my table. TV's right there and convenient, handy. And when I'm done, I have to put all this stuff away and I have to lock it in a small closet because I do a vacation rental on this home. And I have to have things out of the ways, out of sight, out of mind. So this has been a lifesaver. Love it.
This is our block carry case. Our style number is CA371. This square see-through block carry case is perfect to carry your blocks up to 14 by 14 inches. The dual zipper allows you to open the bag flat. You can easily organize your quilting blocks for your classes and retreats or store them at home. This carry case is not only for quilters, it is a perfect storage solution for scrapbooking, papercraft, embroidery, applique, and needlepoint. It also holds the Westerly crosshair ruler perfectly, which is 12.5 inches.
I want to show you my latest Yazzie bag. And this one just may be my favorite one. This is the Block Showcase bag. And you're supposed to put your finished quilt blocks in here. And I have mine in here, but I am working out of this bag. I set it next to my machine right here, and I can take my pieces out and put them back. I'm kind of a neatnik on that thing. I don't like things spread all over. So I have my pieces here that need to be pieced with this section. And down here, I have blocks. I'll put my pattern back because it's, you know, the neatnik. And I will show you a little trick. Because you think, oh, I can't have my pieces and my blocks all in one bag. Well, yes, you can. You just do this. And then you open it up and nothing gets messed up. And now I have access to my blocks. And this is about 2 inches thick. It would definitely hold enough blocks for most quilts. It holds a lot. It's surprising, and it is so handy. It has a handle. It has cloth. I think that's very important that this carry case is made of cloth because your fabric is breathing. You know those plastic square things that we carried? They don't breathe. And it's not good for your fabric to be locked up in there. And they don't have a decent handle. And this is just really, really nice and convenient. And it stays right here, right next to my machine.
this is kind of like a regular setup in the beehive if I was going to be mass producing hexies. And I have various products here which I will talk about. First of all, my Yazzie bags. This is for the iron, and my bottle of starch. Well, it's not starch actually, it's flatter, and it's scentless, and it's just a little bottle. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. Flatter. And this is an organic fiber relaxant, and it's by the Soak Company, S-O-A-K, and I use it quite a bit to get those sharp folds in applique or my hexies. Next, I've got my little rotary cutter. I've got to figure out this camera. Okay, going that way. Okay, so I use a little rotary cutter for my hexies because they're not big. I have my Tula Pink Hexagon. Paperpieces.com is who produces this. And what I love about this is for 1-inch hexies. So there are other hexie templates for larger hexies, but right now I am totally in deep on the 1-inch hexies. And the reason I love this is because it has a clear look to it, so that you can see the motif and kind of center it within your hexie front, and then you can see where the rest of the fabric goes in the part that gets folded under. So that's the other thing there. I have my needle threader. This was by, let's see, this is Needle Threaders. I know I got this in a class with a quilter named David Thomas, I think, years ago. And it has, you know, at first I thought, what's the point? But as my eyes have gotten older, definitely. And because I love to stitch my hexies or applique with the YLI silk thread in this kind of nondescript beige color. It's the 100. And what I love about this is that with this, first of all, the silk thread is very, very strong. And when you tug it a little bit, when you make that stitch, it totally melts into the fibers of the fabric, and so you don't see it. So you don't have to be a great appliquer. You can be a mediocre or a poor appliquer, and your stitches won't show as much with this. So that's why I use this. And this color is kind of like those colors that disappear in all the fabrics. So, thread. I also have, that I sometimes take with me, this pressing mat. It is by Traditional Primitives, and let me tell you, I first fell down the hexie hole because of Missy Carpenter. And this is just an ironing, a hard ironing surface. And so I can take that with me, and it's an easy place to iron. I've got my little Dritz iron that has steam, and I found this at the quilt shop that's, gosh, I'm just taking a blank, the Quilt House. Yeah, I think it's called the Quilt House in Nevada, and I'll put all the links for all of these down there. But this template to hold this silicone pad, this iron is plugged in and hot, and I do not even feel it through there. So I can just set my iron on it and not worry about it. In my Yazzie hexie bag, I have extra scissors. I have all these pockets that are filled with things I need, like the clip that I hold the hexies together with. when I'm stitching them. This is so I don't burn my finger. It's like a long fingernail if you don't have long fingernails. This one is what I use to iron hexies with. Now I don't glue or stitch down. I kind of don't want to stitch down my hexies ahead of time because, and I know that's a traditional way of doing it, but to me it's like double sewing. So I use a starch pen, which I got at the Stitch and Post. And what you do is you just unscrew the top of this. Just unscrews the top. And you put 5 drops of this starch in there and fill the rest up with water to the water line. And then you have a starch pen to get your hexies ironed. So we definitely will be using that. Now I received some fabulous, oh, and I keep my hexie papers in here, and all the hexies that need to be sewn. They're already pre-packaged from Spring Daisy Stitchery, who has the hexie sale going on. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put this there. I've cut out our friend on the Stitch Quilt Roadies and all the other places, Gail. She sent me this fabulous, fabulous fabric, and I can't believe I didn't have it. So I was very excited to use it, and then then my friend Robin sent this fabulous little alien, and he's going peace, and he was just the right color, because I am sure there are other worlds where they are sewing hexies. So I cut out my hexies like that. Okay. Isn't that cute? And the thing about this mat that you can cut on is that it rolls around so that you can do different angles, and I will show you that. So I'm going to just put this over here because I want to show you the cutting. My friend Robin, Pocket Robin, sent me this cute baby fabric and said, I think these would make cute hexies. And she's right. So what I'm doing is I'm putting the baby down there. I've got my hexie template, and I can see through it, and I can center the baby on there. And you know, sometimes I'll even fudge a little bit on the seam allowance. I know that's going to fold under. As long as I have enough to fold under, I'm happy. But this is fitting perfectly, and then I'm going to just cut it along the edge. And then this thing rotates around. You see how nice that is? There we go. Then when I pick it up, my hexie baby is centered perfectly in my hexie. That's going to be so cute. That's going to be so cute. So now I will go on to pressing the hexies. So I'm just kind of moving along here, bringing my mat out. I've got my little alien. And I won't do all of these because it'll be too boring for you, but we'll just do a couple just to show you how I do it, and then we'll move on to the stitching part, okay? So this is just a little cardboard hexie paper, and I kind of make sure that I want his peace sign to be in there. So I'm just going like this. And then I kind of give the pen a little squeeze till I get a couple drops out. And then I'm just going to paint. See, I'm just painting the edge of that. Got my little finger presser, and I'm just going to fold that over. Probably should put it on this finger. And then I bring my iron over. And I'm going to fold this next one over, and I kind of bring it over pretty tight in the corner. And then I just kind of press. And I'm going over to the next one. This allows me to hold the fabric down without getting burned. Which I have gotten burned several times. That's why I've developed a kit. Okay. There, I've got my little alien. So he's going to be the center. And then I do the same thing with all of these, and I situate them around how I want. Now once I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, do I have one? I will show you. So we'll go on to the stitching part. So once I have all of them pressed, I start sewing them together. And I'll end up, you know, holding it and clipping it, and then holding it and clipping it, and sometimes the paper will pop out, and I'm okay with that. Then when I'm done sewing that seam, I'll pop that paper back in, because I want to give it one final press with all the papers in, so that it has a nice sharp look to it. But sometimes the papers will pop out. That's just, they'll pop halfway out, I should say. But that isn't a problem for me. I just keep sewing along, and then once I'm done sewing, I pop that paper back in and move on to the next. And I just kind of go up and down or down across, whichever I'm forced to do. And then I end up with a hexy flower. And once that's done with the paper in it, I will press it. Give it a good press with flatter. I'll spray it with the flatter, and so it gets this nice sharp look to it. Okay. Once that is done, oh, and then let me just tell you, this little threader, because I use silk thread. The bane of silk thread existence is the fact that it's so darn slippery. So I can't see it. So I thread it with this little threader, and once it's threaded, I tie a knot with a short tail at the eye end of the needle so that it doesn't keep slipping out. Now, if you're not too upset about having to rethread your needle all the time, you can just leave it without a knot and a tail. And then when it comes out, you'll just rethread it. But I tend to want to throw a tantrum. So I just tie a knot, and the silk thread is so thin and so slippery that the knot doesn't hold up the sewing, the stitching. And then I just put a quilter's knot at the other end, And then we're ready to sew. Once I have my hexie ready to sew, I pop all the paper out. I measure against my background, and then I pin it, usually in 3 places, to get it secure on there. And then I just slip stitch it. Let me get some glasses on here. So I'm just slip stitching it down. When I'm sewing the hexies together in this way here, I do what's called a ladder stitch, and you can Google what that is. But it's basically I do a slip stitch and then go through the slip, and then go to the next slip stitch and go under the slip all the way across, so there's a nice little ladder. But you can see that you cannot tell, and I cannot see any of my thread, and it's because of the silk thread that just kind of melts like butter into the fabric, especially when it's a color that's basically invisible. So as I stitch this down, once I have it all stitched down, then I press it again. I give it a spray of flatter or starch just to give it a nice sharp spot there, and then I have my block done. It's not real complicated. It's pretty darn simple, and really there are a million ways to do this online. This travel project